Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Anomaly, I'm the writer of the $5 Journey. Thank you for joining me while I do another video on the $5 Journey YouTube channel. Today we're gonna just talk about three great side hustles, all right? So three great side hustles we're talking about. There's a lot of different ones you can do. But remember, what the $5 Journey is really trying to do is it wants to really simplify things for the readers, for whoever is going to get this information. Okay, so while there's a whole lot of different stuff out there, and this is by far not an exhaustive list, right? There's a lot of other things out there. Hopefully this will give you a little bit more insight onto some things that you can do to generate some more revenue for yourself. So you can take that additional revenue and not, go to the bar with additional revenue, or not, buy a fancy car with the new revenue, but actually take that revenue and put it into some sort of financial vehicle, right? And have that money start working for you. Okay, remember, once you put it into a financial vehicle, right? Of course, you're going to talk to a financial advisor, a CPA, those kinds of folk, right? That I've said before, because I am not that. All right, but once you talk to them, they give you some guidance on where to put your money. Remember, that money, once you put it in there, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't take sick days, it doesn't take vacation days. It is constantly working for you. All right, so now, is it possible for you to lose money? Absolutely. All right, but I've been investing for over 20 years, and putting my money into the stock market, putting my money into mutual funds, I've never lost. Okay, now it's gone down. The market has seen dips, but let's say it's starts up here and then I get a dip, but then it'll go back up here, and then it'll dip, and then it'll go back up here, and then it'll dip, and then it'll go back up here. So there are fluctuations, but the general trend has always been upward, for me at least. Okay, and hopefully you guys will find the same thing. What the $5 Journey does is basically wants to show people, give you an easy roadmap on what to do with your additional revenue, right? Now, with the side hustles, okay, remember the book it doesn't talk too much about budgeting, although budgeting is very important. But the assumption is that, for whatever reason, you are going to stay at your current expenses, you're going to stay at your current income, all right? And so we need to get extra money on top of that, all right, to put into these financial vehicles, all right? So that's where the side hustle comes in. That's where compound hustle comes in, right? Compound hustle is basically taking your knowledge and your experiences, right, your know-how for things, and creating an asset for yourself, such as a business, or such as some sort of enterprise, right? Some sort of entrepreneurial endeavor, so that you add a whole lot of value to yourself, right? So that's what compound hustle is. I did a video for it. I will put a link to that video in the caption below. All right, but today we're going to talk about three great side hustles. Side hustle number one, something that you are passionate about. All right, there are a lot of different passions that you may have as an individual. Like maybe you like dance, maybe you like I don't know, maybe you like martial arts, maybe you like painting, artistic kind of stuff. Maybe you like sculpting, maybe you like pottery, maybe you like writing. Maybe you like any one of those things, anything that you're passionate about, right? You can actually make money off of. All right, now you can make money off of doing that thing for someone else. So let's say it's a service. So let's say you are passionate about writing. Maybe you are good with editing, or maybe you are good with making revisions, grammatical corrections, things like that. So you can actually offer your services to somebody else. You can start a company, right? And you can offer those editing or those writing services to somebody else, and they can pay you for that, right? So that would be using compound hustle, right? That would be using your knowledge, your expertise at something to create revenue, to create an asset, because you'd be forming a company that you can do at your own time, at your own leisure. You know, if you do not, you know, let's say you want to go on vacation for a week, right? And you can't, you just, you know, you can't work on any of the side hustle stuff. You just make sure you let the person know who's, you know, giving you money and trying to get your business, you know, you let them know that you can't do it, right? So that is a great thing, what you're passionate about, right? Now, another thing is you can teach people how to do things. So like in the case where you are good with editing and grammatical corrections and things like that, you can teach somebody how to do that as well. So that is another way that you can actually generate money from something that you're passionate about. All right, there are people who do all kinds of different lessons. So, so here's an example. I still am very passionate about martial arts, right? So you can teach people how to do martial arts. You know, of course you can, you know, offer that to, you know, classes, or you can do services where you are, you know, acting as kind of like a bodyguard in a way to certain people if you are into that. You know, I'm just talking about martial arts, all right? Or you can teach people, you know, like, as I said before. All right, now there was actually one time where I was teaching people. I was teaching people in both kickboxing and also in kung fu. You know, and it was great. It was a great, you know, it was a great side hustle. I didn't turn it into a business, but it was a great side hustle. I was, you know, I was getting paid, I think maybe like $50 a class, but it was something that I was really passionate about. It was like a weekly thing, you know, so, and I would do it maybe like, I would have about, let's see, 4 hours of teaching every weekend. So I was getting $50 per hour, you know, that was, you know, I couldn't complain about that, right? So it was a great thing. And I was able to actually, generate a lot of extra income that way, right? You know, how many people would, you know, your situation would change if you had an extra $200 per week just coming in, right? An extra $800 to $1,000 per month coming in that you can put right into some sort of financial vehicle, right? I mean, it would totally change things around for you. So think about these things. Think about what you're passionate about. Think about some of the things that you could do, right? You could either teach others, or if your passion is about a service, you can provide a service for others to bring in that extra revenue. Okay, another thing, property maintenance. Property maintenance, that could be like cleaning up the debris that is in front of a house or around a house, or that could be mowing the lawn or trimming the hedges. That could be snow removal. That could be taking out the garbage. That could be taking out doing any of those things. Now, the reason I mention that is because that's one of those things that you can form your own company with. You know, I mean, what you're passionate about, you could form your own company with too, but property maintenance, definitely you could form your own company. And part of the good thing about forming your own company are some of the tax benefits. Now, again, I'm not a CPA, all right? I definitely before you form your own company, make sure you talk to a certified public accountant. If you need one, make sure you inbox me, let me know. You can catch me at anomaly1977@outlook.com. Also on Twitter, anomaly197711, right? So you can catch me there if you need to inbox me about, you know, an accountant or financial advisors. I have some that I have very good relationships with. I don't mind referring them to you. But, you know, one of the advantages of being a business owner is that they get taxed differently than regular, ordinary working folk. Okay, so how does that work? I'll give you a really brief explanation and we'll get back into property maintenance. All right, so let's say you are a regular 9-to-5 worker. You know, let's say you get paid $20 per hour for 40 hours per week, right? So that means that at the end of the week, before taxes are taken out, you come home with $800, right? So now let's say you're in that kind of 20% bracket. Let's say, you know, 20% comes out of your taxes, right? So that would leave you with, let's see, 20% of 800 is $160, right? So 160 minus 800, that gives about $640, I think. All right, check the math on that. But let's say you bring home after taxes $640. Then out of that $640, you gotta buy groceries, you gotta pay for your car, you gotta pay for your cell phone, you gotta pay for different things, you gotta buy shoes for the kids, you gotta, pay for rent or mortgage or whatever, light bill, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, with business ownership, here's how it goes. Let's say you make $800 in a week, right? But let's say you have $700 in expenses, in business expenses, all right? So that leaves $100 left, right? 800 you start with, minus 700 in expenses, that leaves you with $100 left. Well, with businesses, you would get taxed on the $100 that is left, all right? So you wouldn't get taxed on the 800 like you would with just regular working person, right? You would get taxed on what's left over. All right, so there's a lot of tax advantages. Like I said, make sure you talk to a CPA, okay, before you go, setting anything up, all right? I don't want to mess anyone up, but that's essentially one of the benefits of that. So you can certainly do that with a property maintenance company, all right? You set that up. You can do snow removal, debris removal, taking out garbage. You can do kind of like lawn care, hedge care, that kind of stuff. All right, and it's easy stuff. You get in actually better shape doing it, right? So some people want to burn off some calories and everything, get some better health going. Those are things that you can do, right? And the payout is good. Like these are not. I'm not talking to you about stuff that's going to give you, $8 per hour or even $20 per hour. This stuff is going to pay you a lot more than that. All right. So just to give you an idea, off of property maintenance, you should be getting, I'd say about anywhere from $50 to $60 per hour, doing property maintenance. What you're passionate about, I mean, you should be getting anywhere from $30 and up, per hour for. So, if it's, let's say it's a yoga class or something where you're teaching downward dog and, planks and things like that. I mean, you should be getting at least $30 to $50 per hour, at least teaching those kinds of things. Okay. So those are two things. The third one, and I know you guys probably at this point think that Airbnb is somehow paying me for all of these endorsements that I'm giving them, but I promise you they are not yet at least. I'll be happy if they do decide to actually pay me, so I'll be, I even have a bigger smile if they do. So, but right now they are not. But I will say I am still benefiting from that company. All right, so I'm definitely an Airbnb advocate. Right, Airbnb is another great side hustle to have. Basically what it does is, in case no one's heard of it before, Airbnb, it's basically a share, like a space share kind of company. So let's say you have an extra bedroom, or let's say you have a finished basement, or let's say you have a finished attic, or let's say you have a spare apartment that you're not using, or let's say you're going to be vacationing, and your home is going to be free or something like that. You can actually do short-term rentals using the Airbnb platform. All right, so people will go, they'll book. All the transactions and everything are done through Airbnb, so they get the money from the people, and then they in turn send the money to a bank account that you have designated. All right, it's really, really easy. I mean, my Airbnb experiences have been pretty great actually so far. I've made a decent amount of money with very, very minimal work. So that's another great side hustle that you can have, and all three of these, I know that they're not definite side hustles, meaning like, okay, do snow removal and that's one, and do yoga instruction, that's another. No, it's more the concepts, right? I want you guys to think about the concepts. Okay, so that's really what we're talking about. The concepts of what you're passionate about. Property maintenance. Airbnb is the one that's specific. So Airbnb, do you have some extra space? Do you have a room that you can put a little bit of extra maybe TLC on and get it nice and spruced up, so that way you can kind of rent it out for these short-term rentals. All right, because again, even having an extra, $300 a month, $400 a month, $500 a month coming in, you can start putting that into your financial vehicle, right? So that you can start seeing financial progression, because that money is going to be working for you nonstop, working. Okay, so think about those three things. Think about maybe something that you're passionate about. All right, think about maybe the property maintenance thing. Now, also with the property maintenance thing, you can do lawn care. Well, not lawn care, gardening care, right? Gardening work. Okay, so you can do gardening work if that's your thing. Like, some people just have a green thumb. They can just kind of wave their hand over, like some thorns, and boom, out pop roses and all kind of daisies and all kinds of stuff. So property maintenance is not just about the lawn care, but it's also about the gardening, snow removal, about all those kinds of things. Okay, so think about that. Think if do you have a green thumb? Are you able to do this kind of stuff? A lot of stuff is really, really simple to do, and the payout is really big as well. All right, and then Airbnb. Airbnb is not a completely passive cash flow, but it is the amount of time that you have to really put into it once you actually get your apartment or your room or whatever set up is, it's really, really small. I would say on average in the area that I'm staying in, on average, people, Airbnb, I guess hosts, would be considered hosts, are averaging anywhere from $750 per month on up to $3,000-$4,000 per month. Okay, so now again, I am in the New York, New Jersey area, so things will possibly be higher. But let's just think of, let's just say that you are in the boondocks, all right? Let's say you're way out in, I don't know, whatever country, you're in the hills of wherever, all right? And but you have a place that's nice. You've taken some good pictures with your smartphone, right? You've put them on the Airbnb site, because Airbnb does all the marketing for you, right? And let's say you get I don't know, 2 or 3, 4, maybe 5 days out of the month, your place is getting rented out. Well, that's still 4 or 5 days that worth of income coming in, right? Where you haven't hardly had to do any kind of extra work. Okay, so just think about those things. All right, think about how you can kind of build up your cash flow so that it'll give you that extra revenue, so that you can take that money and put to start working for you. All right, none of these are quick things. Now, I will say these are all things that you can start on today. But as far as getting to the place where you are able to really see a whole lot of growth, it may take a little while, but I promise you, if you get started on this stuff today, then I would say probably within the next month, let's check in and see where you're at, because probably within the next month you'll be making money for any one of these things. Okay, some of these things you could just start really right now. You can go on Craigslist, advertise for that you're giving lessons and yoga, or you can go to property maintenance. Let's say you have an axe in the tool shed or something like that, and you say, oh well, I know that people have been talking about me cutting down some of the dead trees in the forest or something like that. You can go take your axe and swing away, right? Airbnb, let's say you have a room that you just need to just remove some of the clutter from, do it today. Those kinds of things you could do today. I think it took me maybe a total of 2 days to set up my Airbnb account. And the only reason for that is, it took me maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes to actually really set it up. But then for them to verify my bank account and all that other stuff took like an extra day. So, these are all things that you can actually start today. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Make sure you continue to check me out on the various social media platforms. I'm going to put my my information in the caption below. And just remember, keep hustling, keep moving, keep trying to progress forward. Remember, it's not a get rich quick kind of thing. It is a journey, right? The $5 journey. Okay, until the next time, thanks so much. Take care.